What's up, guys? Here we are live with week 3 of CMKL Game Day. My name's Spicy, obviously, and I'm really excited to talk about what happened in week 2, get going in some week 3 action. We got some great stuff going on. We're about to hit the midpoint of the season right now, and the season so far has been a blast, both watching, coaching, I guess, for me, and then just being part of the scene has been absolutely amazing. Really happy to see y'all in here. How are y'all doing? I know Road Rage 6 is going on right now, or at some point today, so a lot of people from like Kutztown, the McDaniels, Morgan State, I think is also going to be there. So not going to have a ton of people in chat today, I'm assuming, but yay. Glad for the people who can make it. Feel free to just talk about how you're doing, all that. Well, before we get started and all that. Okay, so yeah, UA will actually play. That's cool. Okay, yeah, I'm happy to hear that. The biggest thing and something we're gonna end up talking about is the amount of like rescheduling and the amount of teams who are just not able to play because one team doesn't want to reschedule, two teams have to reschedule. It's kind of rough. I know it's been an absolute pain, like on the staff end, just watching every team just like we can play, we can't play, we can't play, and like by like Saturday, by like the Saturday afternoon before the next week, you got teams like still trying to figure stuff out. It's a nightmare, like just getting all this sorted. So glad to see UA will actually play. Hoping to see you all do well. Okay, starting say, what are we doing today? Division recaps. Gotta do a little thing called Hot Cold. Gonna be talking about some players that have been really doing well, some teams that have been doing really well, some teams that are maybe on a bit of a downturn right now, hit us a little slump. We're about to be at the midpoint of the season, so we're really gonna talk about all the breakout stars that have really been coming up throughout the CMKL scene. We're gonna make our predictions for week 3. If we have anyone from Road Rage 6 who ends up being in chat or able to like do something, maybe we'll get a little live look in. We'll see. And as always, we'll try and conclude with an interview if anyone's available. Yo, Plonk, let's go. Okay, time to switch over. Talk about what's happening in the divisions. You know what? Let's do things a bit different today. Let's go. Let's start off with Division 3. Where's my screen share? There it is. Division 3 is fun. Yeah, Division 3 is goated. There's been a lot of good results here. Yeah, we can see that. We can see that. Nice. Okay, we'll take a look at the actual tables soon, but yeah, just general things so far. Okay, FIU on down. Let's move that over. There you go. Oklahoma Academy beats Florida International University 521 to 463. Iona beats UNI 550 to 434. University of Alabama Huntsville, the Chargers, they beat the Cal State University Fullerton Gaming Club 634 to 350. Yeah, rare Plank sighting, honestly. He's been streaming though. Give him a follow if you haven't. Really good content from Plank's end with the lounge and the occasional OnlyFriends scrim. So good guy to follow. Make sure you guys do that in chat. Whiskers MK from Nebraska beating EIU Cyndaquil 500 and 464. Then in the interdivision play, which is only in Division 3, we got FIU Panthers beating EIU Cyndaquil 536 to 448. Iona beating Huskers in a big match right here, 585 to 399. UNI beats the CSUF Gaming Club 632 to 352. And obviously we got Oklahoma beating UAH in a tight battle with 516 to 465. Really good results so far, and if you look at the playoff picture for Division 3, it's really fun to look at. Iona currently undefeated in the season so far, 4-0, looking to do very well in the conference. And if you think this is impressive, look at the plus-minus differential over here. That plus 500 at this point is very, very solid to have. Being undefeated against their entire division and against Huskers in Conference B. So looking to see Iona keep this up as we approach the second half. Oklahoma, not exactly, kind of knocking on the door here. Only loss being to Iona, and they've been very strong. And you can see that as they're like comfortably in a wild card spot. So expect them to potentially look to not only just secure a spot soon, but to really continue this like really strong play. Maybe they play against Iona when they play against Iona again in like week 4. I think they play week 4, week 5. I can't remember. But it'll be exciting to see them play against Iona again, see if there's another different result. I know they're scrim partners now, so got a lot of exciting stuff. UNI rounding and FIU rounding it out in 3rd and 4th respectively. FIU recently got approval to have silver play because silver's an alum, so normally that isn't allowed, but otherwise FIU I think would have been playing 5v6 in every single war, which would have been an absolute nightmare. One, as a for them, and two, it's not fun for the other teams to consistently have to play a 6v5. That's not necessarily fair. So, and because of that, silver isn't exactly their top war score, as we'll see going into like when we go into the tables. But having that 6 player is just so important, and they are able to snag their first win. So I'm really happy for FIU to stay alive here. UNI at 2-2, it's actually enough so far to keep them in a wildcard spot, which we'll talk about later. But I think they play Huskers soon, so that will be a very insane matchup. Because of Division 3 actually having 2 conferences, this interdivision play is going to be incredibly important as we go talk about these wildcard standings, because those head-to-head matchups will determine like tiebreakers, the record, and really end up determining who's going to be making playoffs come November, mid-November. Over in Conference B, UAH. This is one of the shockers of the season, I think, to see them doing as well as they are. Obviously, I think their only loss so far was to Oklahoma, who's been very good as well in Conference A, and UAH has been rolling through teams in their conference, beating Huskers, beating EIU, beating CSUF. It's just been really impressive to see UAH play this season. I'm excited to see what they do this season. Oh, it's this guy again. Hey. I love this, guys. Yep, yeah. I think one of those came into someone else's stream I was watching yesterday. I can't remember who. Oh, I was commentating a Splatoon tournament, and one of those messages came up, and like, because it was a small tournament, I'm like, oh yeah, get that ass banned. Anyways, Huskers MK 2-2 on the season so far, losing to UAH, losing to Iona. Yeah, they're like in every chat now. It's crazy. So Huskers, they're solid right now. I think they're in a solid spot. This is exactly where you want to be for them. I think they're really depending on if they can beat UNI and FIU in Conference A to really fight for that last spot in the wild card. That is going to be important. So Huskers really is like looking at their interconference matchups as like this is going to be really what determines the rest of our season. EIU 1-3 and CSUF 0-4. Obviously, it's still a long way to go. You can see these teams maybe making some noise, maybe playing spoiler. Technically, they're not out of playoff contention yet, but especially EIU, whose differential's only a -39 despite the 1-3 record, they could turn things around in the second half. And like, really, they're only 2 games back of UAH. If you look at the wildcard standings, they're only a game back of UNI and Huskers. EIU makes some noise in interconference play. Maybe they push for that last spot in playoffs. CSUF, I think, is, well, it's their welcome to the league moment, I would say. Just your welcome to competitive Mario Kart, because like it's been rough for them. We won't lie. We've seen the tables. Hello from Road Rage. Yo, let's go, Bo. Are you playing right now, or when are you playing? Because I know like a fair number of you from Kutztown, I think, went to this event, and I know there's definitely people from McDaniel and like the surrounding Maryland schools there. So good luck to you. Good luck to everyone there. And just keep us updated with how things are going. If I get a chance, still working on tech stuff. Oh, hopefully starting soon. Nice. Well, hopefully that all goes soon. I'll be reaching out probably later, asking if we can get like a live look in at some point, just like someone like walking around with a camera or something. That'll be pretty cool. Feel bad for CSUF. What's going on? I don't know exactly what's going on for CSUF, but I can tell you from someone who jumped into the scene and got steamrolled even worse than they did. It happens. A lot of players, especially like, are jumping into the scene not really knowing about like competitive Mario Kart. So like not gonna presume anything exactly, but a lot of them are probably casuals who are slowly learning the game right now. They don't really have a lot of that experience, nor do they have like the teaching that other teams do. Even in Division 3, there's some players like across teams here who are like playing in lounge and stuff like that, watching like videos from like JPG, Basic, TWD 98, Shortcat, Rookie even, a lot of content, like great content creators. So like these teams happen. You're going to eventually see teams like CSUF always happen, no matter where you go. It's just how it is with the collegiate scene in general for multiple games, more than just Mario Kart, where a lot of players are jumping into competitive for the first time ever, and like these these rough results will happen. It's part of the experience. I will tell you that. So yeah, we're gonna look over the wild card standings. We know Oklahoma's sitting pretty right now, especially having a win over someone in here. I forget which one exactly, but I think EIU. I think it was EIU. And then UNI Huskers, when they play, that's going to be one of the big matchups here. FIU and EIU are both looking to make a potential comeback here, and you never know. CSUF could still have time. There's still a lot of time in the season. You might see some crazy stuff happen. Okay, let's look at the tables now. Okay, FIU, EIU. Yeah, we saw this 536 to 448. This is a big win for FIU. Just to get that first win on the board is massive here. Milkshake is one of the best players in this division. Like, let's not get that twisted. 144 is amazing. Like, that is one of the top things here. Ted Bear, staff knew Ted Bear was going to be one of the players to watch here, having that experience from Neko Knights and like D17 and a few other MKU seasons, and just being a solid overall player. And Ted Bear's been doing their job, not necessarily as like the star player, but being kind of that veteran leadership figure, I guess. And then you have Silver. We talked about this before, but having that sixth player is just massive. They don't have to score like 100 points to be valuable. Like, I think that's one of the biggest like misconceptions when you play Comp MK, having the no thinking that like I have to be like really good, I have to score really high to add value. No, just being a solid team player, hitting people out, protecting the teammates in front of you to make sure they get these big numbers is absolutely massive. Maybe I'm just saying that because that's kind of my playstyle. I don't carry like ever anymore, but it's like being able to score all right and then like make sure your teammates set your teammates up for these kind of numbers is massive. So the role players quote unquote down here are still putting in a ton of work. Maybe Vitmaster's bagging a lot and getting them shock. Those are all valuable and things to have. Look at EIU down here. And it's a very like balanced effort, honestly. 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10. They didn't have the big like running capabilities, I guess, that FIU was able to have. But honestly, an 88 is too bad, considering this team is also relatively very new. Musk with the 86, Panda Dragon with 82, Mega 79, J-Pro 71, Lovebug 67, Pacoli, sorry if I'm butchering your name, with the 63. A lot of just like consistent play from this team, which is important. I think like this is the numbers you kind of want to see, and especially as you go climb up higher, and teams are like really close in level, these consistent numbers are things you want to end up seeing, because there are times where no one will score 100 because everyone's just scoring like relatively the same. So I think EIU is in a good shape. I think I don't know if either of these teams will push for playoffs this season, but I think they're setting themselves up for a good future. OUA FIU. This is a very good result for Florida International. Obviously, OUA won, and we got to give them all the credit in the world for that. Gold End 124, Takadesa and Rhino Bites 95, JW Thysing 81, Rumble the Bumble 80, Bro Tobias 72, and that big brown boy 69 points. Nice number right there. We know that OUA is very solid, so like this is it's exactly what you expected from them. Golden's gonna play well, and Takadesa's gonna play well, and their supporting cast, for lack of a better word, is also gonna play well. It's just a consistent front here, which is like exactly what you want from OUA, as they're really getting comfortable with each other, and really starting to expand and like grow as a team. FIU though, this is probably a much more impressive result than people are going to give them credit for. Only a minus 58 against one of the best teams in the division is a very good sign. So, like, if they use this and just kind of build off this momentum now that they have 6 players, like, even Silver with the 62, it's better than a bot. I know there was that one bot last in like week 1 that dropped an 89, but that's probably, hopefully, never going to happen again. But yeah, having like a 6 player just like help control the game, so massive right there. And you know Milkshake's gonna be playing insane. Dropping another 126. I don't know the indivs. I don't know if we have individuals. We do have indivs. Okay. We'll talk about this soon, but I know Milkshake is up there in terms of like individual results. Huskers MK EIU. If you're EIU, this is another good result. To really be really close, let's talk EIU first. 122 from Musk, 102 from Lovebug, Mega with a 79, Pakolai with a 74, Panda Dragon with 66, and Llama with a 21. For the most part, that's a solid result. And Musk getting first in the room, Lovebug getting third. Really, they're close. This honestly could have swung in their favor had just probably a few things gone right for them. Nebraska, though, with the win. Mark with the 105. That's not the player I was expecting to really see pop off for them, but that's good for them. Mop 93, LeBob 91, T-Bugs 86, Zoo 74, Saracen 67. I think what I always valued with Nebraska was their depth and just their consistency, and that was exactly what you see here. A lot of the players, 4 through 8, really just scored very similarly to each other, so it's looking good for them. Nebraska, I think, is going to be knocking on that door for that final wildcard spot, and their match against UNI, whenever that is going to be critical. There's a penalty. I forgot about that. UAH CSUF. UAH has some phenomenal players. Like, oh my gosh. Creo with the 139, Green 133, Space 125. Those results are insane. Even at Division 3, like, having a core that can do that, that's crazy. Jackius 86, Aether 82, Corty 69. Everyone there is just really playing well, and I'm excited to see what UAH does the rest of the season. Really excited to see them go up against teams like we already saw them go up against Oklahoma. I'm real excited to see them go up against Iona and stuff like that, because you know UAH is going to be a threat coming in the playoffs, assuming they make it. CSUF, whatever, however you say it, I'm sorry if I'm butchering it. 103, solid results. Seti, 72, Elena, 68, Aurora, 61, Indies, 28, Warp, 18. It's really just a lack of experience, I think, for this team. I think they're going to get there eventually. CSUF, keep your head up. Like, these results are going to hurt. They're not fun. I've been on the losing end of, like, minus 300 wars, minus 200s. It's not easy, but keep at it. You got it coming. You're starting to develop some stuff, really. And I think really once you get that experience, it'll be really good to see you guys like make some noise later on in the future. Yeah, UNI beat CSUF, Dapper 147, Archie 120, Lemons 119, Icy 90, Acidid 84, Nick 72. UNI is a sleeper, I think, because they're in the same division as Iona and Oklahoma, which are making all the noise in Conference A of Division 3, but UNI is so solid. There's so many good players here. Like, look at 147, 120, 119. You don't just do that easily. And he's up Icy and Acidant. Even Nick, everyone's putting up over 70 points, which is a massive for in this division. And CSUF, Annie again, 74, Aquin playing with a 73, Seti 56, PJ 47, Ferrora 44, Robot 38. Honestly, I think this is a really good result for CSUF, honestly. You're showing some consistency. Obviously, you don't have that big number of the triple digits that as in the game we saw earlier, but I think this is a better sign, honestly. Having that more consistency, and especially against UNI, who's a very strong sleeper team, I think that's going to be good going forward. 2, 3. There was a few others. I forgot to watch the UNI ones. UNL CSUF. I think that was, I can't remember if that was week 2 or week 3. That might have been a week 1 maybe actually. Iona Huskers. This was a big result. I remember putting this as one of the results to watch going into week 2, and this is why, because Iona is a great team. Iona is like right now my mid-season favorite as the Division 3 championship. But Huskers MK, I think, is like once they get the rest off, because we know they've been inactive for a while. I think this might be closer if they meet up in playoffs. But Franken 140, Yoshi 114, Goji 106, Fire 80, Jones 68, Cedo 57, even having a Toad CPU dropping a 20. Good for the bot. Phantom Anthony, oh, not able to play because your Switch broke? I am so sorry to hear that. We'll talk about it when we get to Division 2, but there was something that happened for like Moravian versus McDaniel that's something similar, so I'm sorry to hear that. Yeah, very well strong, just really strong tops from Iona. This core, and then there's so many good players on Iona. It's like they're scary. This is a very scary team. They would contend well in D2, maybe knocking on the door of playoffs there, I think. So I'm excited to see because I think they're definitely moving up in divisions, if assuming divisions are like similarly structured come next semester. But I expect to watch Iona really do big things in this league go in the future. And we talked about this before with UNL. There's some players here that are solid here. Mark's putting up numbers. Okay. And obviously it's consistent attack, and then not able to drop those big things, like no one breaking over 80 was a bit of a shock, but Iona is just that good. Able to shut down a solid fundamental team like Nebraska. Big props to them. This was from, I forget if this was, oh, this was this week. Okay. OUA versus UAH, 519 to 465. Golden 98, Rumble the Bumble 97, Rhino Bites 94, Tekadessa 86, That Big Brown Boy 74, JW Dicing 70. Oklahoma just has a really consistent team. Like, no one scores over 100, but no one drops less than 70. That's, like, honestly better than, like, a more inconsistent team. Just having a roster like that, a lineup of 6 that can put those consistent numbers up, is enough to win you games. And everyone's just so close, like 2, 3, 5, separated by like 4 points. Less than 30-point difference between 2nd and 9th. Also, Oklahoma's looking really good. UAH, Creo is one of the top players in this division. No doubt about it. At 129, one of the biggest stories of this division, I think, is that individual race, which we're going to go into soon. And I think the last one for this week was Iona UNI, the 550 to 434. Iona doing what they had to do. Exactly what you expected them to do, honestly. 124, 115, 101 from Frank and Goji Gold, and respectively, Fire 76, Jones 69, Yoshi 65. There's just so many good players on Iona. UNI kind of kept up the Dapper, Archie, Nick, 94, 85, 84. And then the lower players kind of get hit out, made things harder. But, like, good result overall from both teams. Iona looking really strong. So yeah, now we'll talk about indivs, because we don't really talk about indivs very often. But I feel like I have to now. And browser. Creo, Milkshake, Franken, Dapper Boo, all putting up insane stats. Like 138, 135, 125, 120. How many players are are averaging 100? 9 players are averaging 100. Crazy. Shoutouts to all of those 9 players. Creo, Milkshake, Franken, Dapper Boo, Green JC, Goji, Muscalini, Ted Bear, Archie. Just really insane stuff. Like, even if you're not playing all the wars, it's incredible putting up those numbers. Creo, Milkshake, Franken, amazing stuff from these teams. Milkshake really doing what they can to get FIU in contention, which is amazing. Dapper Boo for UNI doing what they can to keep them in contention as well. FIU Iona having 2 players up here. FIU having 2 players here. Muscolini and EIU representing. A lot of great stuff from teams across this division. Okay, let's move up to Division 2. Okay, Division 2 did have this. Okay. You know what? We probably can do this without the thing. We'll just go through the results. Virginia Tech, Alabama happened last night. This is a result I was looking at specifically, one, because I'm a Division 2 coach for Moravian. So, like, I'm very much interested in what happens between Virginia Tech, Alabama specifically because we play them tonight. I gotta send host information, all that, which I will do later. So, VT beats Bama by a 36. Very good result, for being quite honest. Cynical 149, Ice 142. This is just such a hard team to beat. It's very hard. You need to have so much go right for you to beat Virginia Tech, because Ice and Cynical are just so good. They're the two best players in the division, arguably. Maybe inarguably. I think they're the two best players in the division. And they're able to, like, bring these players up. Like, even if they're not scoring super high, Cynical and Ice are just able to take off such a load. And really, like, I remember watching Virginia Tech play, their frontal presence is just insane. They're able to just run away on so many courses to the point where other teams are really just fighting for third and fourth. So, like, top two, and getting those top twos as often as they are, incredible. It's incredible for Virginia Tech. But for Alabama, this only losing by 36 is really good for them, honestly. Solution has been going off. 117. Brad, 104. Jay, amazing player from what I've been told, 91. Rizzy, 68. Try plus a bot, 55. TE, 44. Sadly, there's a penalty of 10, which, oh my god, if it's a 10 penalty, this is just a plus 26. Meaning this is incredibly close. Alabama, I think, might be the team to snag that third playoff spot. I think it'll really just depend on their gathering at this point, because I know they're playing against Moravian tonight and at default time because Moravian can't reschedule. So Alabama might forfeit. I hope they don't, because that would be a shame to drop two games because of a forfeit. But Alabama looking strong. They already have a win against McDaniel. We're going to get into it, but they beat House Divided. They play Morgan State tonight. Beating Morgan State is going to give them a good chance to really make some noise, really fight for that last playoff spot. And I knew we weren't sure about Alabama because they were the only team in this division that didn't have any 6v6 experience that we knew of. But in their debut season, they're looking very solid. And this result, this was a minus 26 before a penalty. Alabama's looking really good. McDaniel Green Terror, Moravian Cyberhounds. Okay, I can tell you this was a mess to watch because Phoenix, his Switch crashed in race 5, and they weren't able to find a sub. So there was like, from race 6 on, this is a bot. So that was really hard to see. The bot did kind of well though. I think they got like 3rd at one point on like Coconut Mall or something, which is crazy. And I can tell you, it was a really, like, last-second gather for Moravian. And, like, I know this is without a doubt not their best lineup. Moon plays, but Moon isn't, like, very committed with the game, so he's not the most reliable. Nox, I can tell you firsthand, was mentally out of it. She's been really drained a lot recently, so it's been tough to hear. Angle had a rough day, both in-game and out-of-game. Mighty, same thing. Ash, same thing. It was definitely just a really bad off day for Moravian, especially not having Baja playing, not having Kyle Adams playing. I was coaching while taking my stats midterm. That was not ideal. Watching from like Twitch while being a state away. Not ideal. I wonder if it's going to be like... I wonder how it's going to be. When these teams play again, maybe it'll be better. Hopefully it's better, because it's like... This is rough, because I remember wanting to watch this matchup a lot, and it's like, it's a shame that it ended up like this. But McDaniel, though, props to them. Top 4 Boss, 134, Shamchez, 133, Sambert, 104, Glacial, 93, Brand, 73, Senpai, NOH, 44. they were just able to hold tops. A lot of it, or at least for like the majority of races. They were able to like just sneak up there and like they would get tops by like lap 2, lap 3, and they would just kind of go away with it. So Raven really didn't have an answer for that, which we are going to go over, which I'm going to go over with them in a VOD review tonight, but like good stuff for McDaniel, finally putting the pieces together, because I know Samber's been frustrated with a lot of like the TKing and stuff like that, which happens, but it's like I'm really happy to see that. I'm really happy to see that from them, see if they're going to be able to make any noise coming forward. And now, because there's still a long way to go in the season, McDaniel is one of the basically every team in Division 2, I think, is contending for a spot in playoffs, which is crazy. So expect to see some absolute chaos in the next 2 weeks, next 3 weeks. And what happens this tonight and like this in week 3 is going to mean a lot going forward. No penalty, I think, here either. House divided, Morgan State. House divided 516, Morgan State 424. House divided, very strong overall play from them, especially not having short playing. That's impressive. Nutley 128, Silver Phoenix 125, Galaxy Nova 96, I don't know 78, Crimson 69, Jalapeno 64. Yeah, not having short playing and still beating Morgan State, a very solid team. One of my like sleeper picks to make playoffs. Impressive as heck. So really proud to see House Divided do well there. And they're such a scary team. We're going to talk about them later because of their matchup against Alabama. But like House Divided, I think, with their best lineup, is still the favorite to win this division. And having any of these guys, not only Silver or Galaxy, go off is crazy. Like having 128, 125, 96. That's so much damage that they do. Morgan State, Isaiah, putting up MVP numbers still with the 124. Psycho, TLS, 77. Obsidia, 71. It's 6 Nitro, 68. Ironman, 9091, 46. Lotus, 38. I think for Morgan State, it's really about finding that number 2 option. We know Obsidia is good. There's Ghost who's good. Psycho can be decent. It's really just finding that consistency for them, which it'll come with time. I know it's a very new team, and we're excited to see them do as well as they have been, but like being able to get Isaiah that number 2 option is going to be massive, because Isaiah is putting in a lot of work, really doing what he can to develop this program. So excited to see where they go. Both these teams definitely in playoff contention. House Divided, we'll talk about it later, but they're like the leading division, I'm pretty sure. Morgan State is like really close as well to like wildcard spot, and because of their tie against Moravian week 1, they're in a good spot. Virginia Tech 545, Moravian Cyberhounds 439. There's a penalty on Moravian because Wumbo went by Wumbo instead of Kyle. I don't know why. I did not know Kyle changed his MKC name until like fairly recently, even though I saw it on the page and all that. So I'm not surprised. I completely missed the Wumbo tag penalty. Ice dropping a 160. That's crazy for Virginia Tech. To have that kind of tops presence, I remember watching, there was nothing Moravian could do to get on ice. Like, they couldn't get a winning race to save their life. There was a lot of -4s for Moravian, but like Ice and Cynical consistently getting like 1 or 2, just having those tops, it's so hard to deal with. Just adding up all those little victories and then just like, boom, like checkmate options multiple times to really up the ante for Virginia Tech. 160, 131 for Cynical, Steamy 89, Hyper 85, Mew 47, Algek 33. What I've said before, Ice and Cynical just make the rest of this team better. So like having Steamy and Hyper also go off, impressive as heck. And Virginia Tech is really hitting their stride. And if Ice is going to play like this the rest of the season, oh my gosh, Virginia Tech, when they rematch House Divided, that's going to be a match to watch. As for Moravian, Baja 98, Angle 87, Nox 85, Kyle 68, Mighty 53, Ash 48. Great stuff from Baja. I remember watching Baja play because I coached them, and I was like really happy with how Baja has been playing lately. So that 98, really proud of them for being able to do that. People are starting to learn the target angle, which is rough. Like, after that amazing week 1, that amazing match against Morgan State, Angle has taken the role of being the target. It was me originally from Moravian, then it went to Baja and Knox. Now it's Angle, and now teams, you saw that against McDaniel where Angle was limited to like a 63. Teams are understanding you gotta get out Angle before they run, and that's incredible. And it's really hard because as good as this team Moravian can be in terms of team support, they really just haven't been able to like really secure to like being able to protect their tough spots. Knocks to 85, solid result. Wumbo, I think that was his first war. I think it's the only war of the season so far. But trying to D-Rust, I think. Mighty, 53, Ash, 48. Both of those are new players. They'll get the experience coming in. I think this could be an interesting rematch in the future. I think Virginia Tech still wins in like I want to say it's week 5. No, it's week 4 I think they play. Yeah, it's week 4 they play. They play next week. I think Virginia Tech wins this again, but excited to see potentially if it's closer. This is the match of the season. This was one of the big results of the season. Seeing Alabama beat House Divided 510 to 474. Keep in mind, Short was not playing for House Divided, but this is still a massive result because there's a lot of experience on House Divided between Nunley, Nova, Silver. A lot of good players on House Divided. And then Jay, we gotta talk about this. So Alabama had Thermal with a 52, Rizzy 63, Trombone Wizard 82, Solution 88, Brad 94, Jay with a whopping 131. I know there's a lot of Jay fans like in my chat usually, so it's like really happy to see Jay just go off. And this was a very needed result too from Jay. Like, what the heck was this? They'll drop that 131, especially knowing that House Divide didn't have their best player. Crazy. Jay's one of the breakout stars on, yeah. If there was an all-star game, Jay's getting vote. If there was an all-star game determined by fan vote, Jay definitely makes it. Especially after this result. Oh my gosh, the Jay propaganda is going crazy. But overall, because we knew Solutions like are objectively the best player on Alabama, getting limited to an 88, Jay stepping up with a 131, amazing. Glad to see it. Very well-deserved win from Alabama here against House Divided. Yes, Short wasn't playing for House Divided, so it was Nunley with the 111, Nova with the 105, Silver 92, Jalapeno 74, Don't with the 51, and Crimson 41. But when these teams play again, I want to say it's week 4, this is going to be one of the matches to watch, especially if top lineup plays for House Divided, because that's going to have so much implications for potential playoffs. And this win for Alabama against House Divided, and like, yeah, because Alabama beat McDaniel last week. Yeah, they beat McDaniel last week, and then beat House Divided, losing to Virginia Tech by 26 before penalty. Alabama's looking good. Alabama's looking like the potential favorite to make it in as that third playoff spot. Maybe pull off the upset and get that make it as a second seed. But we'll see. There's still 3 weeks to the season, and I still feel almost every team is in it. I think the last result for week 2, D2. Morgan State 503, McDaniel Green Terror 481. This was on my stream earlier last week. At night right before we streamed primetime. Isaiah 127, Klob 95, Obsidian 91, Ghost 74, Ronin 58, Nitro 58. It's what you want to see from Morgan State. Some support here. You saw Klob and Obsidian both with the 90s. Isaiah doing what they do with that 127. Ghost 74. I know Ghost is a really solid player. Isaiah's been hyping them up, so I'm excited to saw them play. Ronin 58, Nitro 58. Daniel, top 4 boss 131, Sambert 104, Kobolo 82, Glacial 74, Brand 56, Senpai NOH 34. Not the best McDaniel lineup. Not having Shamchez was a big deal. I think when these teams play again, this could go into a split set with McDaniel winning that, having Shamchez play. Because this was close. I know it didn't feel very close for a lot. I think Morgan State just kept like getting big win or like little wins, and McDaniel wasn't able to respond when I would remember watching it. So McDaniel got cut into the lead, but it's just a little too late. So I wonder if like McDaniel's gonna be able to respond with that next time they play, or if like Morgan State's really starting to get that momentum, really find their groove, make some noise here. Looking at the D2 playoff picture. Top 3 makes playoffs. So, House Divided 3-1. Virginia Tech 3-1 as well. Alabama 2-2 is looking like the current playoff picture. House Divided having the tiebreaker over Virginia Tech right now was massive. That gives them the bye into championships. Virginia Tech, after that loss to House Divided, really getting their stride. Not losing a game since. Bama losing a forfeit win to Moravian, losing by forfeit to Moravian, and losing to Virginia Tech. A close match with Virginia Tech has them sitting pretty comfortably. They play Morgan State this week. I'm excited to see that. Morgan State and Moravian and McDaniel, all relatively close though. You look at this, everyone's got 4 points, which is 4 points. Okay, I don't know how McDaniel has 4 points. It probably should be 3, but I don't know. Having this is close. So, Morgan State, Moravian, when they play again, this is basically going to determine who gets 4th, if not 3rd. We'll see. It'll depend on how they play against Alabama, but this is fun. Alabama, Morgan State, Moravian, and McDaniel, I think it all beat each other and are all really close in terms of skill level. So we could be seeing some crazy stuff coming in next couple weeks. So Moravian plays Alabama this week. Morgan State plays Alabama this week. So Bama's got 2 important matches. Morgan State, I think, plays Virginia Tech. I could be wrong. Maybe not Virginia Tech, but they play someone. McDaniel? I don't know. Let's figure it out. But yeah, House Divided, Virginia Tech looking solid. And then it's a really tight race for that last playoff spot. Division 1! Once again, we don't have to go about everything here. This is a big one. Okay, McDaniel has a loss by less than 20, so they get a point. Good to know. Good to know. I forgot about that rule now. What a DM. Peach State, Texas Unified. On paper, this was going to be a Texas Unified wash. And obviously, Texas didn't have their best players playing. They had Greg and Sand playing, which is amazing already, but not having Adam or Nick. Not the top 4, but still the top 2. But this is a massive statement win for Peach State. 572 to 412. This is a big result, too. A 160 against Texas Unified? On paper, the super team? Peach State Patriots doing the league a favor right now. Honestly, giving them hope. Texas Unified is human. Bean with the 121. Luxatone going off with the 113. Spoon with the 105. 79 from Wisp and Dynamo respectively. And Sourdough with the 75. Just a very consistent effort from Peach State. The Georgia schools are going off here. We mentioned it, I think, in Division 3. Having, no one score less than 70 is massive. No one scoring less than 75. 3 players scoring over 100. This is what you need against Texas. And this is incredible for Peach State. If they're able to keep this up going forward, they might make some noise. Maybe make a late playoff push. We will have to see, but this is a phenomenal result from them. Texas dropping a game for their first game of the season. 112 from Greg, 103 from San, Naram with a 60, Robert 48, Muffin Man 46, Unlucky 43. Not the best Texas lineup. We mentioned this before. And yeah, Greg and San, they did a lot, obviously. But the rest of the Texas lineup kind of struggled here. I think that's really where it came down to, where Peach State, their entire lineup is experienced in some way. Meanwhile, with Texas, it's they have amazing top players, but then the rest of the lineup is new to the game, really still gathering that experience. So having Peach State put off this massive win, impressive. I think this was their first win of the season, not by forfeit. So maybe their first one, period. So good job for Peach State winning this match. Yeah, it was their first win. So UC SoCal 525 beats Peach State Patriots, who got 459. So that's a win of 66 for UC SoCal. Cairo is one of the best players we've ever seen, honestly, in this division. Like, this is insane. That 125. No, people were thinking, oh, we saw Super FX, and we're like, okay, yeah, UC's good. But Cairo, not a ton of people outside CMKL knew who Cairo was. And Cairo's going crazy, dropping at 125. Their average is insane. They're definitely making first team Division 1. But at this rate, so excited to see what they do here. 125 from Cairo, Super FX 109, Joy 92, Waluiz 87, Zane 62, Emilio 50. These kind of top presents and having Joy and Waluiz play as well as they have been really helpful for UC SoCal. Meanwhile, Peach State Patriots, got Bean with the 112, Spoon with the 106, Wisp with the 77, Dynamo with the 67, Sourdough 57, and Squishy 40. So no Luxatone for Peach State, but still a solid lineup for them. And that's massive because, like, knowing that they can, if Luxatone plays in their rematch, this could be close, like very close, and potentially a win for Peach State, honestly. But SoCal, good props to them. Really, this has been the season of like Cairo's breakout, honestly. One of the players to watch in the season if you haven't been already. SoCal UA. SoCal 580, UA 404. Cairo with the 169. Oh my god. If that's close to the best score of the season so far. If that isn't the best score of the season, it's definitely up there. In terms of like individuals. Like, that is crazy. Okay, UA did play with a bot. So 10 firsts. Holy. Yeah, that's insane top presence right there. Like, I'm at a loss for words. 169. Dang. If Cairo drops Cairo could drop a 180 if you put them against like one of the Division 3 teams. Maybe even against a Division 2 team. We did not talk about the sword. Okay, I'm not gonna make it talk about it, but I have to because people are gonna be curious, sadly. I don't blame you. This one's rough for UA here, but yeah. Cairo 169, Super FX 97, Waluiz 87, Joy 82, Emilio 79, Zane 66. Consistency from UC, obviously, but Cairo dropping that 169, that is insane. UA, Neon, 102, 6 with the 102, Fishy with the 70, Dummy with the 52, Artemis 42, and the DK Bot 36. Obviously, you don't want to see them play with a bot, and because UA does not want to talk about the sword, we don't have to. But still, solid results from a few of their players here. 2 players tying for second. That's good. That's good. And it's just like, yeah, playing with a bot isn't ideal because you're basically making one of your other players play from the back to like make sure, oh hey, make sure bot doesn't have shock or something stupid like that. So not ideal for UA, but it's also only so much you can do when UC SoCal has someone dropping a 169. Texas Unified 524, Ontario United 460. This was on prime time for those who are watching. And I remember watching, Six can attest to this. There's only so much you can do when Greg and Sand are like consistently in the tops. Like, Greg was just everywhere in like top 3, like nowhere below it felt like the entire war. Greg with a 159, Sam with the 130, Dario 74, Naram 61, Muffin Man 54, Unlucky Pro 46. This top 2 between Greg and Sand, this is just crazy. There's only so much you can do against this top 2, and we know Ontario's good. Iona with the 115, Guilty 87, Mumu 84, Chipper 74, Bonk RS 50, Canada 48. Not the top lineup for Ontario. You don't have Godkip, you don't have Doc Proc, you don't have Justin, but yeah, their depth is good still. Like 3, 4, 5, 6, tying for 6th, solid. You know there's still a chance here. And if you have their top lineup, they can really whittle away at Greg and Sand, which is going to be important going forward. When they play again, this might be another prime time. Probably not another prime time, but this could be another playoff match to watch. If they meet up in playoffs, this will be fun. Kutztown, Ontario. Okay, this was a big result. This was a massive result because I think on paper Ontario was favored, Ontario has best lineup. But Kutztown 512, Ontario 472. That plus 40 win for Kutztown is massive. Kutztown having technical with the 138, Bapu with the 106, Bo 91, Sunset Slaw 61, MC 60, Steepian 59. Technical Bapu, such a strong lineup. Just having that kind of top 2 is crazy. And then having Bo really be that great third option, really coming into their own, has been amazing to watch also. I'm hoping we get to watch a Kutztown match on stream at some point, whether that be prime time or on like whatever side stream I do. Because Kutztown is making some noise in this division, honestly. So I'm excited to see what they do here. They play Texas this week. I don't know if that'll be tonight or if that's going to be rescheduled, but that's going to be fun to watch. And beating Ontario, one of the favorites of the division, probably one of the common picks to make playoffs. Solid. But for Ontario, Iona with the 131, Mumu 91, Guilty Echo 86, Bonk RS 74, Chipper 55, Canada Nerd 35. Kutztown PSP. Okay, it's Kutztown PSP. Good to know. Is prime time? Oh, nice. Okay, that's good to watch then. I don't know if I'll be available for it because I think I might have to. I might be out of town already for prime time, so I don't know if I'm gonna be able to cast. But if I can, if I can't, I'll be watching at least. Yeah, Kutztown, really solid result. Ontario, this is close though. Not having top lineup as well for OU. This could be a very interesting rematch for the future. Maybe even potential semis. And sadly, we have Kutztown beating UA by forfeit. I know Kutztown not able to gather for like a reschedule makes things really hard. That's probably the biggest nightmare of like this league in general. Rescheduling is like, we want teams to like have that flexibility, but there's also so many times where teams just can't reschedule or like so busy they're just not able to. So we'll see. Maybe we'll change up how rescheduling works in the future, because like the amount of it's rough, but even like having as many forfeits as we do is just not ideal. Yep, and that's all from week 1. Okay. D1 does okay. We do have playoff. We do have this then. Okay, so current playoff picture. Ooh. Okay. Okay. This is huge, actually. Kutztown being undefeated so far. Good job on them. Very well deserved, honestly. They still have to play Texas, which they will this week, which is going to be exciting as heck. Texas 3-1, only losing to Peach State. Solidly in playoffs at the moment. And then we got SoCal and Ontario tied 2-2. Great stuff from them, honestly. Both teams have been like playing very well. Cairo especially has been crazy. Ontario has Iona, who's been doing so well. It's just a beauty to watch these like teams play here, and we know that they haven't played yet until they play this week. So this is going to be telling. This has massive playoff implications, and it's only week 3. So this is great. Kutztown, Texas plays. You see SoCal, Ontario plays together. Oh, this is going to be fun. A fun week, honestly. Peach State, after that win against Texas, anything feels possible at this point for them. Like, they're only a game back from SoCal, Ontario. And if Peach State makes an upset, maybe they're the team that beats Kutztown. Who knows? And maybe they're going to start gaining that momentum. If the top lineup for Peach State plays, there's very few teams that have that kind of like experience from 5-6 players. And then UA struggled this season. It's unfortunate that they have like such a big roster, but it's like still having to play with a bot every now and then. It's just not ideal. You hate to see it because like UA is a good team having with their amount of players there. I think they can, assuming they don't have to forfeit it. They already have 2 forfeits. That's rough. Oh man. Yeah, it's rough for them right now, but hopefully to see them pick it up in the later half of the season. Maybe make some noise here. Maybe even if they don't make playoffs, being potential spoiler, that's always fun. Maybe they're the ones who make it so. Oh, that'd be fun. Imagine Arizona beats SoCal in like one of the last 2 weeks of the season, prevents them from making the playoffs. That would be such a good like storyline, honestly. Or they do that for Peach State or Ontario. That'd be crazy. Okay, hot cold. Which players have been playing well? Which teams have been trending up, trending down? I was gonna say, yeah, your campus internet is like crazy. Having that lag, from what I've been hearing, is just like not okay. And IT being IT, just hate to see it. Hate to see it for you guys. Okay, look at D1. Obvious things we're looking at. Who's trending up? Texas. You got Greg and Sand just playing as well as they have. 2 players in the top 5 for one school is crazy, and they're averaging over 118. Greg averaging a 136. Like that's crazy. But I think the player, honestly, like who's definitely trending up the most, gotta be Cairo. You don't just, I know it's against the bot and UA having 5 is not ideal, but Cairo dropped with that 169 and consistently dropping scores like over the hundreds. Crazy. Like that's just not okay. It's not okay, and he's not even like top overall yet. So Cairo's definitely trending up. UC SoCal as a whole really trending up, knocking on the door for that last spot in playoffs, and it's week 3. So it's excited to see what they do going forward here. Iona's in a similar buff for Ontario. Ontario maybe trending down as a team because of having a rough week, but they still have Iona, who's been playing very well. I think if Ontario is able to field that top lineup, they are going to be making a ton of chaos in this division, making things really scary for other teams. Kutztown's trending up like crazy. Like, I don't know where people were on Kutztown. I think people were thinking maybe 3rd or 4th. They were probably fighting for that 3rd seed. Being undefeated after 2 weeks, being the only undefeated team in this division, massive. They're one of only 2 undefeated teams in the league right now, the other one being Iona. And winning, look at this plus minus. It's a lot of their games have been not close. Obviously, there are 2 forfeits for Kutztown, which is not the most ideal thing, but they did beat UC SoCal almost by 100. They beat Ontario by like 40. Kutztown's trending up. Obviously, we'll see if they're able to keep it up, because 2 forfeits weren't ideal for them in terms of like predicting. But hey, Technical still averaging a 151. You got Batboo in 7th overall with a 114. And I realize you can't see that. You got Batboo with the 114. You go down a bit, and then Bo is in 14th, averaging 85. Having this kind of like lineup for Kutztown is just really solid. I wouldn't be surprised to see them like keep this momentum. I think they're gonna maybe fall off a little bit, come down to earth when they play against Texas, maybe depending on who Texas plays. If Peach State is trending up as much as they are right now, maybe that primetime match is gonna be insane. But we'll see. I think this next week for Kutztown will reveal a lot about how well they're going to be playing. Division 2, hot and cold. Hate to say it, Moravian's trending down. It's a bigger issue of like gathering and like developing at this point. Just like the consistency for Moravian hasn't developed yet, and we knew Angle was going to be as good, was going to be insane, but people have started to figure out if you just take out Angle, a lot of Moravian struggles come out and not having that running potential. Yes, you have Baja, but Baja's not always able to play. Nox is more of a team-based player instead of like the hard carry, so Moravian's gonna kind of struggle a bit. I wonder if things are gonna be different going into next week. I know. Let me think. Baja's playing, Nox is playing, Angle's playing, T's playing, Foe is playing. I think Moon is playing. Moon, I think, is going on the outward experiment as an inward bike player for like years. I think he's gonna try out outward and see how it goes. I've seen people make the switch very nicely. I've seen people make the switch very badly, but we'll see how it goes. Brave is trending down. I don't know if I would say they're out of it yet. I think this week for them is a do or die week of like to stay in contention, because losing against Bama will be massive, and having like a rough result against House Divided is gonna be more so bad for morale, if anything. So if Raven's able to pick things up here, it'll be important for them. Big Daniel is rough. It's hard to tell with Big Daniel because a lot of their losses were mostly close, and then they had that stomp against Moravian. They're so-so right now. It really depends. If they're trending anywhere, if they're playing anywhere like they did against Moravian, then that's good. That'll be very good, because I think they could beat Morgan State if Shamches plays as well. I just don't know if if that was a flash in the pan or not. If we're going to talk about a team that really is trending up, though, it's Alabama. That win against House Divided, this result right here, that's crazy. 5-10 4-0. Yes, House Divided didn't have their best player short, but like, it's so important to have like for Bama to win that match, to really set themselves, really put themselves as a threat in this division. And like, there's so many good players on their team here. We look at the Indivs. Solution is currently the last spot in the top 6, averaging 114. And then you look further down. J105, Brad 97, Trauma Wizard 82. A lot of just consistent players from Alabama. I think that's the big thing for them, like just having like consistency. We weren't sure if that was going to be the thing for them this season, but I'm happy to see that it is. Nunley is trending up like crazy for House Divided. In the absence of Short, we saw Nunley go off like crazy in their results against Bama, and I want to say it was Morgan State. Just amazing results overall from Nunley. Really excited to see it, really happy to see this. And I remember thinking Nunley was good. I remember knowing Nunley was very good prior to this season, but like the results weren't there because they didn't really play a lot in like competitive 6v6 prior. But seeing them do well now validates me. That was like probably one of the few predictions I actually got somewhat right so far. Now if that goes to crap later, oh well, a commentator's curse. Virginia Tech, I think, is probably the scariest team at the moment, though. Ice is starting to get into a groove. And with Ice and Cynical, 135, 134 averages. It's so hard to stop that. Virginia Tech, I think, is going to be scary. Like, incredibly scary going forward here. Just knowing that they have two players who can just do this at any given point. Like, it's scary as heck. So, Ice and Cynical, Virginia Tech. I can see Virginia Tech winning their next matches. We'll see how they go. I think Virginia Tech's probably going to be at the rate where they will really be contending for the top spot in this division. We'll see. And Division 3, hot cold. Wrong thing. Yeah, I noticed the right thing. Yeah. Iona's trending up like crazy. If you weren't on the Iona hype train before, you're on it, and you got to be on it now, because plus minus a 500, being one of only 2 undefeated teams in this conference, though into the entire league. I don't know if they have a forfeit win or not, but like I don't think they might not even have a forfeit win. All their wins might have been legitimate, which have been just crazy. So I'm super happy for Iona to see what they've been able to do so far. Oklahoma also trending up, I think. Oklahoma's win against UAH has really positioned Oklahoma to be like the wild card team of Division 3, potentially setting up a future like prediction of like the projection of like Iona Oklahoma for Division 3 championship, which is going to be insane. With two teams that are relatively close in terms of like ability, in terms of like camaraderie. Excited to see that. This might be a hot take, but I think FIU is trending up. I think all of Conference A is like looking pretty solid right now. It's to the point where like UNI FIU might be like fighting for that last playoff spot. FIU, after adding Silver, just having that 6 players so massive, and with Milkshake playing as well as they are, being as crazy good, but being like second overall, I think in the Indivs, it's gonna be good for FIU. So that could be a very wrong prediction, but I think FIU could be making a ton of noise. Conference B as a whole is like kind of trending down with the exception of UAH. Huskers, that loss against Iona was much bigger than I thought it was going to be, if I'm being quite honest. I think it's up to Huskers. If they beat UNI, they are going to be set. They might be able to lock in for a last playoff spot. But they got to beat UNI. EIU, I think, has to do better has to pull off some upset wins in Conference A to keep their season alive in terms of like playoff hopes. And CSUF, we know that they can't be trending down because they're like not exactly playing well, but they're struggling at the moment. But we hope to see them like pick things back up and maybe make some adjustments to potentially look to cause some upsets, or at least make these teams sweat. Prediction time. Okay. Huskers, Oklahoma. I think Oklahoma wins this. I think Oklahoma, after beating UAH, has set themselves so it's like it's Iona and Oklahoma in their own tier. At least that's how I feel it's going to be. I don't think it's going to be as much of a wash as it was for Iona against Huskers, but I do think Oklahoma should be able to win the big comfortably, probably like a 60-ish win or something like that, 60 to 100. FIU UAH. If FIU pulls this upset off, that would be one of the upsets of the season. UAH, I think, wins this comfortably. Is poised to win this comfortably, being as dominant as they were up until their loss against Oklahoma. But if FIU wins this match, then they're really making a shot to fight for that last playoff spot. I think UAH wins. But if FIU makes it close, or at least wins or makes it close, this is a good sign for FIU for this season. Iona beats CSUF. I don't think we need to go into that. We got the team that's been undefeated and the team that hasn't won yet. I would be surprised that would be a massive win for CSUF if they are the one to beat Iona. And anything can happen in this game. But I got Iona winning that. UNI, EIU. I got UNI winning, but EIU needs to win this to really make a shot at playoffs. Because having a shot at playoffs, if EIU beats UNI, they got the tiebreaker. And if it comes to that, that's going to be critical. So both these teams are really looking to make a statement win here. UNI Huskers, I think, is the match to watch of Division 3 heading into this week. Both these teams are like tied right now, and they're really fighting for that 4th spot in playoffs, that second wildcard spot. So if UNI, this match is going to be like close. I don't know if I have a really solid prediction. I'm going to go with UNI. I'll go with the Panthers. I think there's just some really solid players there, and I think the potential for UNI is just higher. I think they have a higher ceiling that they can really take advantage of. Maybe that goes very wrong, but who knows yet. But I'm going to roll with UNI beating Huskers in a relatively close war. I would say this one's probably going to be like in the 30 range at the highest. Expected to potentially come down to the last race. Oklahoma EIU. Oklahoma wins this. I think Oklahoma is just too good right now. EIU would have to play crazy out of their mind to win this. But I think Oklahoma wins. FIU beats CSUF. And Iona UAH. This is another great match to watch. I think Iona wins. Transitive property here. Oklahoma beat UAH. Iona beat Oklahoma. Iona probably wins this. I think it's closer than we. I think it'll be closer than we expect. UAH is not going to go down without a fight. And as good as Iona is, there are crazy good players on UAH. So expect this to be really close. This is going to be one of the results to really watch for tonight if it happens. Tonight, I haven't checked if those are rescheduled or not. Okay, let's go to Division 2. Pretty sure a bunch of these matches are getting rescheduled because McDaniel is hosting the tournament. Morgan State is at McDaniel. And I think there's a couple others. The Hokies against McDaniel, I think Ice and Cynical are just gonna continue this reign of dominance they've had since getting after that Michigan loss. So Virginia Tech wins this. I will go with Bama Morgan State. Solution and Jay. Jay's been going crazy. I think Morgan State's good, but I love Isaiah I'm a huge Isaiah fan. We've gone over this multiple times. I think Bama wins. I think there's just too much depth now that we weren't aware of, between Solution, Trombone, Jay, Brad. There's a lot of good players on Bama. So I think Bama should win this. I think it'll be close, but I do think Alabama will pull it off. Raven House Divided. I know this was going to be very close if House Divided only had 5, but I'm pretty sure they have 6 tonight. So I have House Divided winning. I think there's just too much depth on House Divided for Moravian to really have a shot here. Love Moravian, but it's I think House Divided wins. Too many good players. I think Moravian's going to have close to top LU. Maybe not, actually, now that I think about it, but unless House Divided drops, has half their lineup isn't half the top LU isn't available, then I think House Divided should win this. Morgan State, Virginia Tech. Rematch. We're already in the rematches here. I will go Virginia Tech. We saw them won earlier in the season, and now that Ice especially is back into it, really finding their rhythm, I think Virginia Tech wins this, and I don't think it's going to be as close as it was earlier. Similarly, House Divided McDaniel. Oops. I think House Divided wins this. We know McDaniel didn't have their groove ready, but House Divided just has so many good players. And now with Nunley really going off, as well as Silver, Nova, if they have short playing, yeah, House Divided wins. I don't think top 4 boss, Shamchez, Sambert, Cobalone even, having those, just looking at those 4 players against each other, head to head, House Divided wins. So I think, yeah, House Divided wins here. House Divided probably goes 2-0. Virginia Tech's going 2-0. Now, this is interesting. Moravian Bama. This was a forfeit win for Moravian last time in week 1. And the sad thing is, I don't know if we're going to see this match happen tonight, because if it doesn't happen tonight, it won't happen. So Bama will either have to field 5 or they forfeit. I don't know yet. I haven't heard from either side. I had to send host information for Moravian at some point also, just because I know the captains are busy. But hopefully it's okay, because that would be rough if they can't. But if they have top lineups playing, okay, let's say they play the 6v6 normally, Solution and Jay are better than Angle and Nox/Baja. So it'll come close. It'll be closer than I think we think. If Moravian is on top of their game here, this is going to be very close. Because I think Moravian team play, when it's on point and morale is up, I think they win. They could win here. But I think having Solution, having Jay, I think that swings the favorite for Alabama, but it will be close. I think it's closer than we expect it to be. And we've talked about this before, but there's a lot of playoff implications here for a lot of these teams. Morgan State, Alabama's big. Moravian, Alabama's big. So watch the Bama matchups if they happen. I think Bama, Morgan State got rescheduled to tomorrow. Moravian, Bama is tonight. If those happen, this could be fun. I don't know if this will be streamed, I will be quite honest. But if it is, watch it. Division 1. Wrong reaction. Why did I do that? Okay, I gotta go up to... I know I saw a reschedule, so that's gonna be fun. Kutztown, Texas is the match I think to watch for D1. At least on paper. These teams are fighting for that #1 spot. And Kutztown's undefeated so far, but they had 2 forfeit wins. Texas dropped against Peach State Patriots, or dropped a loss. So, could be crazy right here. Not sure what'll be happening. So, if Kutztown's top lineup plays, and if Texas top lineup plays, Texas wins. It's just how much of their top lineup is going to play is the question. If it doesn't, then I think Kutztown wins. So, as long as 3 players from Texas play, 3 of the top 4 from Texas play, they win. Otherwise, if Kutztown has top lineup, Kutztown wins. Arizona, Peach State. I'm a rock with... I said this before. I know Peach State's good. Peach State's, after beating Texas, everything feels like they can win this. If Arizona has their lineup, if their net doesn't fail them, Arizona could win this. In fact, I think Arizona Peach State is going to be a very close matchup compared to what people probably think. But if Peach State is rocking their top 5, they're playing as well as they did against Texas, then Peach State will win this. So I'm going to rock with Peach State here, but I would not be surprised if Arizona wins. Ontario, UC SoCal. That's close. That one's a close match. I don't know for sure who wins this. I'm going to go with... No, Cairo's playing crazy. Cairo's playing out of their damn mind right now. If Ontario fields their best lineup, and I hate the fact that we have to consistently put an asterisk. If Ontario puts their best lineup out, then they win. But even having only 2 or 3 of top LU playing for Ontario, SoCal is going to make things rough. I'll rock with Ontario. But if Cairo goes crazy, this is going to be insane. Peach State, Kutztown. This is a primetime matchup right here, and I'm excited for this one. I think if Peach State beats Arizona, Peach State's going to have momentum. I think Peach State could win this. I'll be honest. That sounds great. I love the players at Kutztown, love Tech, love Bat Boo, love Bo, love JK8, the players I've met there. Really great people. But I don't know. I think if Peach State is playing hot, they're going to win this. So Kutztown is the favorite at the moment, but Peach State could make things very interesting here. So you know what? Maybe we'll pull the upset here. I mean, I could see Peach State winning it. I have Texas beating SoCal, but in the rematch. But this is also going to be close, especially with how well Cairo's been playing. If Texas has Sand and Greg playing for sure, then Texas, I think, wins. But I think Texas just too much firepower for SoCal to handle. I don't think Cairo and Super FX match what Greg and Sand are doing right now. Ontario and Arizona. Ontario, I think, wins this. Ontario has too much depth, I think, for really to do anything here. If Krakow plays for UA, then I think things get really interesting. But I think Ontario with top lineup will win this matchup. What else do they have on agenda today? Road Rage 6 looking. I wonder if they're on right now. I'll have to kind of quick check to see if they're, because I know they were looking to stream it. Might take a quick look to see if they are right now, because that'd be exciting. They are streaming it. Nice. Okay, MD. Okay, that's what their channel is. MDVA Collegiate now. Nice, nice. Let's take a quick look. Let's get a live looking. Okay, let's drag this over. Yo, Sambert streaming. Sambert face reveal. Whoa, I already know what he looked like, but oh yeah, I gotta put audio up, and I gotta share my screen.
It can. I don't know how to.
Really, I just need to hear it. That's the only thing. It doesn't have to be in the headphones.
You're fine. No. Anomaly. Get MC.
Oh, Melpool's playing. Forgot. I don't know. There's probably a bracket somewhere for this. I'll have to ask him.
So Stepian connected his headset just so he can hear, and now I can't hear the game.
Oh, we got this kind of issues. I understand this completely. I don't know whose
Gotcha.
POV we got right now, but
So
I
we
saw
just have to
Melpul's
not have
in,
audio
Glacial's
this time
in,
then? This
Tech
could
is
be
in
my
first
solo
right now,
cast.
so that's
Yeah, it's
fun
so
to
better on the
watch.
mic, but because now the audio is going through the Switch headphone thing, it can't pick it up on the capture card.
Gotcha.
I'll say it's MC. Could be wrong.
So
I'm pretty sure
we're
that's
just gonna
MC
have to
there.
deal with Heat 2 having nice, crisp audio of me talking. Which, I mean, it's fine.
Go hold the mic up to somebody's speakers.
Have people breathe into the mic.
Okay, so yeah, we
Alright,
got
that's
that
fine.
look in there.
I will just have to talk more. That way, feel like the awkward
Going
silence.
to do
The
that.
person at the
Then
streaming setup right now is Stepian.
that's Stepian. Oh, that's Stepian playing. Okay, good to know. Okay, so here's what I'm thinking
For
we're gonna
those who
do.
don't know, he's from Cutstown.
Here's what I think we're gonna do. Gonna hit over the podcast. Not gonna do an interview today. One, my throat is starting to kill me, and I have to like coach later, so I kind of need to save my voice. I think I'm gonna wrap things up here. Kind of do a quick short stream. We're gonna end up rating the people over at MDVA Collegiate. How do you do this? Yeah, we're gonna have send people over there, get some people watching. I think that's exactly what you want to do. What really help out the collegiate scene. Obviously, Sambert's a great guy, running a great event. I went to Road Rage 5 in like April of last year, so yeah, there's a lot of collegiate players here to watch. So I think it would just be really good to get that going. But for those who are able to stop by today, really thankful for everyone like usual. So until next time, till next time, probably once again, same time next week. Same time next week. I already have the people for interviews next week, so that'll be fun. So let's raid MDVA Collegiate. But yeah, once again, thank you guys for tuning in. The VOD will be up on YouTube and Twitch later. Follow me on my socials. Obviously, you can do that in the top left screen. But yeah, until next time, that's it from here. CMKL Game Day. Let's send you guys over to MDVA Collegiate. Okay. I spell that? I spelled that wrong. Wow. Great job, me. 2 L's in collegiate. I should know that. Okay. Once again, thank you guys for tuning in. Once this raid's gonna go, I'm gonna end stream. So shout out to people over at the Road Rage 6. Wish them all luck. And yeah, thank you guys. And that'll be it for me.